Hey guys, welcome back. Today I kind of want to talk about self-acceptance. It's one of those things that really brings me down every time I go back out. I always wanted this feeling of satisfaction, and I was never able to get it for myself. I needed validation from other people. A large part of it was friends, family, significant others, anyone and everyone who could take me outside of being myself in hopes that it would make me forget about my own problems. I put on this mask that things were okay with my life. Actually, not just okay, but amazing with my life. I'd glorify all the small successes, lie here and there, trying to paint this beautiful picture that I'm perfect and you want to be my friend because I'm going to make your life better. And that was never the case. When I'd go home, I'd think and I'd wallow in my own sadness as to how pathetic I was. I'd look at my insecurities and my defects and really question why I'm even here. It seemed as though I couldn't offer the world anything I would take from other people. I always wanted what you had. I always wanted that new car or that new suit, that new video game. I was never satisfied with what I was given. I was never grateful that I had anything for myself. And it really puts into play the idea that I was broken. And I think that's why I made a lot of the choices I did, especially regarding women. I thought that I understood them and I could fix them. And whenever I realized that that wasn't possible, I would go out and drink or use drugs in some sort of way or another. It was really hard for me to recognize this through my active addiction, but it's so clear looking back on it that this is really what I was doing to myself. It was self-sabotage. If I could get into a relationship that made me feel better about myself, I didn't have to look at myself anymore. My life would join yours and fuse into this weird medley that we were living one life together. We'd do everything together. We'd use together. We'd go to school together. And that really got me to separate myself from my own problems. It was a really great way for me to hide away from whatever I was dealing with that day. Self-acceptance means being comfortable with my positive qualities and my defects. I feel like I downplay a lot of the positive thoughts and actions that I do. I assume that that's just normal. That's how I'm supposed to be. When it comes to the defects, I glorify them in my own head. I make them a much bigger deal than they are. For example, if I helped someone cross the street but also robbed a store, I wouldn't spend my day thinking that I did something good for someone else. I'd spend my entire day worrying that I'm going to get caught. It's not logical, because you'd think that one would be equally significant as the other, but in my head, maybe I'm not good enough, so the bad things are much more important, stuff that I really need to work on. And instead of holding on to the few things that I am good at, the few positive traits that really define me and make me unique, I can only focus on what you think of me. I can only focus on what's going to make me look bad in someone else's eyes. It comes down to I wasn't really happy with myself. Now I'm able to appreciate what I do have. I can look my family in the eye and be honest with them, which is huge for me. I've never really been able to do that before. If I got 90 on an exam, for example, I'd have to lie and say I got a 95 just so that I'd get a little bit more validation from them. If something went well at work, I would take everyone out to the bar and celebrate, so that it seemed as though that I was doing a lot better than I was, because I wasn't happy with the amount of success that I was getting for myself. I have a hard time dealing with my own problems. Being in a recovery house, it's awesome because everyone here is so different. We all come from different backgrounds, jobs. Some of us don't have jobs. Few of us have been incarcerated. Some of us have legal cases, but we somehow all manage to be here at the same time. Even just the age disparity is crazy. We have people from their late teens going up all the way into their early 60s, which is astonishing to me because it seems as though this disease doesn't care about your age. It doesn't care about how much money you make or how successful you are. And if you don't have the right coping skills and you don't have the tools in place to deal with it, it's gonna get you. Unfortunately, it's not that you just stop at losing the money or you stop at losing the house or the car or the family. This disease will rob you dry of everything. And when you don't have anything left, it'll take your life. And it doesn't really hit home till you lose someone that you actually care about. It makes you realize how short life can be. If there was any disease I could choose to have, if I had to have one, probably be addiction. I'm able to have some sort of control over this. I every day can make the conscious decision whether or not I'm going to let my addiction take over my life. The line between going back out and staying sober just for one more day is getting easier and easier to see. Just by being sober, I have been able to get back so much more in my life. You hear these stories of people staying clean for decades and rebuilding this entire life for themselves. It's like you can go from having absolutely nothing, but put together so much in really what's not that much time. When I think about how long I was out there, spending that much time staying sober, I could accomplish so much. I urge you guys to try to just take another day out of your long life that you have ahead of you and just stay clean for today. That drink or drug is going to be there for you whenever you decide to go back to it, if you do decide to. If we don't go back to it, we might be able to do something new today. We might be able to make a change in our behavior, in our thought process, in just the way we live our lives. I can actually wake up in the morning and be kind of happy about myself. I'm excited to see what happens today. I'm excited to try something new. I did the same thing every single day, and it became so monotonous and so comfortable that I didn't go to that new job interview. I didn't go to school to try to improve myself. I didn't really have any sort of want to do anything other than slowly destroy my body. I had become a slave to the disease. I had no control over where my life was going. And today I do. It's something awesome. It's something amazing. I am excited to see where my story takes me. I knew where my story was going to take me. I was either going to die behind the wheel, I was going to die in someone's basement, or I was going to rob someone and end up in jail. Today, I know that those don't have to be an option. I can set whatever future I want for myself if I want to work hard towards it. And why not? What's the problem with working a little harder than I know how to work? We can't really succeed until we test those boundaries. Those boundaries are what change us. No one got better by just doing the same thing over and over again. They say practice makes perfect, but I think practice makes permanent. If you continue to do the same thing day after day, week after week, month after month, you're just going to get really good at what you're doing. You're not going to get any better at something new. You're not going to be able to push that boundary, push the edge, push past that fence and see what's on the other side. It seems like some people in this world have a lot more than us. It seems like some people have this happiness. They are proud of their work. They enjoy doing something that brings them wealth, that provides for their family. And they're not that much smarter than us. I don't think it's an intelligence thing. I just think that they found a purpose and they enjoy doing it. Why can't we be them? What separates us from them? It doesn't actually add up in my head other than laziness and repetition of just doing the wrong thing over and over again to the point where we're just comfortable doing what's wrong. I'd always say, if only I had this, if only I had that. I'm just doing it right now. If I can limit it to this amount of time in this amount of days, I'll be fine. That didn't work. I was able to maintain a job, kind of. I was able to have some money in the bank, kind of. I was able to drive to work, sort of. Now I don't have to worry about those things anymore. I can freely do pretty much whatever I want and not worry that someone's going to be knocking on my door asking where I am, or get that call in the morning from my parents asking if I'm okay, not knowing where I am, what I'm doing, or who I'm with. It makes me think about the anxiety that I have, and I think a lot of it's caused from going against my moral decisions. I know when I'm doing something is right or wrong, and if I do the wrong thing, I'm going to get anxiety because my body and mind work together. You know, when I know I'm doing something wrong, my body's going to react a certain way. And when I go out and help someone else or do something positive, my body reacts to that too. I get this feeling of being accepted. The whole idea of self-acceptance becomes a positive thing. It's no longer something that brings me down.